Hi yogis, welcome to class today. We're gonna focus on shoulders. So shoulders, neck, back. So if your shoulders feel a little sticky or weak or just don't have the mobility that you want, this will be a good one for you. Also, if your back and your neck is a little bit sore, this will provide some relief for that too. So come and join me on the mat. We're gonna start standing up, just wherever you want on your mat. Let's take some neck rolls to begin. Well, first let's take a few nice deep breaths. Just coming into the room, into the space, letting thoughts of what happened today go, letting go of thoughts about what's happening next after this, and just giving yourself some time to be present and to give your body some love. So bring your left ear to your left shoulder, and then all the way down, chin to chest, right ear to right shoulder, and then if it feels okay on your neck, rolling back. So let's do a couple of these to the right. Just feeling how nice that feels to loosen up your neck muscles, shoulders, back of the neck, and then coming the other way with your circles, chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder, and bringing your head back, looking up. Two more like that. And then standing back in neutral, in mountain pose. So our chest is lifted, spine is nice and tall. All four corners of the feet are grounding down. Let's roll our shoulders up and back, getting some movement. Maybe you feel crunching. Inhaling as you move up and exhaling as you come down. And then bringing that to the front. Feeling into the thoracic spine, upper back. Good, and then let's make these circles way bigger now. Coming again up and back and bringing your arms into this now. So inhaling, reaching up, exhaling, reaching back. Inhaling, reaching up, and exhaling, opening up, reaching back. Looks like this from the side. Inhaling up and circling all the way around and down. Good, and then we can bring that to the front. So inhaling, reaching back, 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 up, oops, and forward. So we're just getting some movement into our shoulders, rotator cuffs, sockets, all the different parts. Good. And then when you're finished with that, you're gonna roll down into a ragdoll pose. So just hands come to your front of your thighs. Then you're just going to roll down one vertebrae at a time, folding at the hips, and then having your head dangling down and forward. Hands can just come rest gently on the thighs. Letting go of your head and your neck, making sure your shoulders are nice and soft. And then if you want for an increased stretch to the back, to the cervical spine, for some traction, you can take your hands and interlace them on the back of your neck. You're not pulling, you're just resting your hands on the back of the neck. Feeling the release of the cervical spine. This is a really nice one to do if you've been sitting all day or you have a headache. You can kind of move from side to side if that feels good. Awesome. And then bringing your hands to the floor and coming down onto your knees. We'll do a few cat-cows because those always feel good for the whole spine. Coming into neutral. And then inhaling, opening the chest, looking up. And then exhaling, closing everything, rounding up, chin to chest, tucking your tail, a few more like that, inhaling, exhaling, cat, inhaling, cow, exhaling, cat. Awesome. And then coming back into neutral. Let's walk our hands up in front of the mat now. We're going to go into melting heart pose. So reaching out in front of you as far kind of forward as you can, and then letting your chest just come down. Oops, I got to move back a bit. Letting your chest come down to the mat. And then your forehead might touch the mat, or you might need to put a block under your forehead, just so you don't accumulate a bunch of tension in your neck. So I really like a block under my forehead right here. Awesome. Releasing your shoulders and your neck, feeling into your armpits. Opening up the shoulders. Let's do one more deep breath here. Good, your heart might come a little farther down to the mat. Then releasing the block from under you, walking your hands up into a tabletop again. Getting into further into our shoulders and thoracic spine. Bringing your right hand out to your right side, opening it up, reaching up towards the sky, and then on the exhale, threading it underneath the left arm. Going into thread the needle. So resting your right side of your head onto the mat. Left hand is gently placed on the mat just for balance. Pushing into your right hip now to feel a nice deep stretch through your shoulder, neck, and thoracic spine. Letting yourself sink deeper into the pose as you breathe. And then on the next inhale, pushing yourself up and opening up to the right again. Maybe you feel a little bit more open. Good. And then we'll do that on the other side. So coming back into neutral, and then opening up your left side, reaching the fingertips up, and then threading through. Placing your cheek gently down on the mat, using your right hand to support you, tenting your fingers on the right side, and then breathing in to the back, upper back, shoulders, neck, one more breath here. Maybe you're sinking deeper into the mat on the inhale, or on the exhale, sorry. And then on the inhale, pushing up and opening up to the left. Awesome. Coming into neutral again on all fours. I'm going to take your right leg and place it to the back of the mat. Just balancing your toes back there. Coming onto your left your left arm and opening up that right side into a modified side angle plank. Good. And if the balance is a little bit tricky, you can take your left foot and kickstand it out a bit to the back. So hopefully you're feeling a nice long stretch between from the bottom of your right foot all the way up to the top of your right fingertips. And then you can bring some movement into this pose by taking your right hand and reaching it to the front, and then down and around. So just making big circles with your right arm. Trying to get into that shoulder again. Good, you're kind of following it with your gaze. Awesome, and then when you're done, bring your right hand to your hip, and just feel the opening of the chest. Awesome, let's go to the other side. So we're gonna do modified plank on the other side. So coming into onto all fours, taking your left foot, bringing it to the back of your mat, and then opening up on the left. Bringing that right foot behind you just for some balance to keep you steady. Good. Left foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Breathing here, feeling that elongation on your left side. You could even take your left hand and reach it all the way over to the top, to the front of the room, front of the mat. And then bringing it into those circles again. Big circles. All the way through the full range of motion for your shoulder and your arm. Stretching to the front, stretching down, and then around. You can pair your breathing with this. One more circle. And bring your hand to your hip, and then opening up your chest. You can actually take your hand to your lower back and almost push against your lower back to open up your chest to the ceiling. Awesome. Okay, let's come back into all fours and then just briefly pushing back to child's pose for a few breaths to give everything a chance to release. So instead of having your hands out to the front, you could also have them right by your head. So with bent elbows, taking off some of the pressure from the shoulders. And then just staying here for 2 long, deep breaths. Feeling your spine elongate. Your tail is coming closer to the ground while the crown of your head moves to the front of the mat. Spine becomes longer with more space in between the vertebrae. And when you're finished, come on up. Reaching your hands to the top of the mat now, tucking your toes, and coming into a downward facing dog. Come to this side again. Good, pushing your hips back to the sky, feeling your hands pushing against the mat, elongating the spine. And then on the inhale, walking, hopping, or stepping up to the top of your mat. Inhaling halfway, shoulder blades pinched behind you. Exhaling, folding forward. And then inhaling, lifting up, reaching up Exhaling, hands come beside you. Good. Okay, let's get even further into the shoulders and the back. Taking your hands out to a T, and then you want to bring your left arm under your right. So we're going into eagle arms. If that's really uncomfortable for you, you can just hug yourself like this. Okay, so opposite hand come to opposite shoulder. And then on your inhale, opening up, lifting your arms up and back, coming into a very slight back bend, and on the exhale, you're coming forward into an eagle chair. So bum comes back, folding down. Inhaling, opening up, and then exhaling down into chair again. And you're kind of rounding your back. You're not bending like a forward fold like this, but you're just rounding your back to increase the stretch in the thoracic spine. And then as you move up, moving those arms up and feeling the length, the stretch in the shoulders. Good, coming back to neutral and unwinding your arms. Awesome. Clasping your hands behind you, like this. You're gonna go into a forward fold with your hands clasped. So exhaling, feeling your shoulders release. Inhaling, lengthen through your crown. And then exhale, forward fold. Good, just getting a really nice opening here for your chest and shoulders. On the exhale, feel yourself moving closer to the mat, getting deeper into the forward fold. And then tucking the tail, bending the knees, and rolling on up. We'll do eagle on the other side. So just eagle arms, okay? Not eagle legs. Unless you want to go into eagle legs, then be my guest. So inhaling to a T, exhaling, right hand comes underneath left, and you're wrapping it around just like this. Okay, so your hands are in prayer. And then the alternate would be hugging yourself like that. So either hand comes to either shoulder. Good. And then moving your feet a little bit closer together, so toes can even be touching, the heels apart. Inhaling, slight back bend, look up, move your arms up, and then exhaling, forward, chair, eagle chair. I'm gonna go to the side so you guys can see this. So bum comes back, and then this whole upper body is kind of rounding like that, right? And then up, inhaling, back bend, and exhaling, chair. Tuck your tail, tuck your chin, coming forward. Inhaling, and then exhaling one more time, rounding down, rounding your shoulders, rounding your back, chin to chest, and coming on up and releasing that eagle. Good. Rolling your shoulders back a little bit, or just whatever you need to do to kind of release that pose. That was a little intense. Good. So coming now to the front of the mat, we'll just do a few more standing poses, and then we'll wrap up the class. So coming back with your right foot, reaching it all the way to the back of the mat. We are in a high lunge right now. Lifting your hands up to the sky. And we're going to twist to the left on the exhale. Bringing the hands down. And then lifting up. Reaching up. Finding that length. And then exhaling, twisting to the left. Let's do that one more time. Exhaling, twisting to the left. Good, and then we are going to straighten that front leg and just change sides. So now we're doing a little high lunge on the other side. Bending deeply into the front knee, feeling both of your feet pushing into the mat, feeling the strength in the bottom half of your body, and then the lightness as you float your arms up, and exhale, twisting to the right now. Just gonna come on this side. Good, inhaling up, and then twisting to the right. Inhaling up again, floating your palms up to the sky. Exhaling, opening up your chest and your shoulders. Awesome, and then we're gonna take our hands to the top of the mat and push our right foot back to meet the left into downward dog. Waving your hips out to the side. And then we're gonna come down into a plank. We're gonna hold here for 5 breaths, okay? So strengthening into the shoulders now. You should have one long, straight line through your spine. Core is engaged. You can kind of rock forward on your toes a bit. Wrists should be right under the shoulders. We're gonna start the 5 breaths now. Here we go. That's 1. You might already be shaking. This is such a great thing to do for muscle endurance. Core. Just 2 more breaths. Inhaling. Oh, I'm shaking. And 1 more. Good, knees come down, back to child's pose. You can take your arms and just place them by your sides now, with the back of your hands on the mat, giving your shoulders a break. Just relaxing here with a couple nice deep breaths. You can also bring your hands underneath your forehead, like a little pillow, and feeling your shoulders relax. Nice work on the plank. We need a mix of strength and mobility, and then stretch for our shoulders. So hopefully you got all of that today. And then coming up when you're ready, we're gonna end the class just seated in cross-legged position. I'm gonna do a few more juicy stretches for the neck. I feel like we get really, a lot of people hold their tension in their shoulders and neck. I know I do, so if anything is built up over the class, just because we did do some strengthening ones, let's just release it all now. So one of my favorite ones is just taking your right hand out to the side. You're reaching, kind of reaching your fingertips out, tenting them on the floor. And then left ear comes to left shoulder. Then you can just play around a little bit by moving your chin around just to see where, sorry, just fixing something here, to see where the stretch feels best. And then you might want to hold it there. So chin can come to chest, or you can kind of like look up a little bit, facing your nose up to the ceiling, getting more into the scalenes here, the side of your neck, maybe even the front a little bit. Taking 2 more deep breaths here. neutral, bringing your right hand onto your right knee. And we're just gonna go to the other side. So reaching out and tenting the left fingers on the mat. And bringing your right ear to your right shoulder. This side is a lot tighter for me. And then moving your head just to feel where you need it the most. You can kind of just make circles with your chin. Maybe you're looking behind you even. It's getting into all the areas of the front and the side neck. If you want to get into the back of the neck, just put your chin to your chest. 2 more deep breaths here. Coming up to neutral now. Oh, feels good. And then bringing your chin to your chest. Just to get a stretch in the back of your neck. Making sure your spine is lifted. Your back isn't hunched. 2 more breaths here. Then when you're ready, bringing your head back up to neutral. Good, hoping you're feeling really relaxed in your shoulders and your neck now. So we'll just end here with Namaste. There won't be a Shavasana today, but if you would like that, then go ahead and do that now. Thank you for joining me for this class. I hope your shoulders and neck feel a little bit better than when we started. Namaste, everyone.